The sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog's sports page brought to you by Kaufman & Lind, Injury Attorneys. Good morning, Mike Bianchi.
Good morning, gents. How are you?
Ready to talk some sports? Obviously, it's a welcome break from the other screaming headlines this morning.
Right.
I mean, I think all of us are kind of glad to have the election done at this point, and let's get on with things here.
Although one vote did not count yesterday.
Well, hold on.
Dabo Swinney, the Clemson football coach, he went to the polls yesterday. Did you see this story?
What happened?
He went to the polls yesterday, to vote, to be a good citizen, and they wouldn't allow him to vote because his given name is William, and they said there's already been a William Swinney that has voted, and it was his oldest son who.
Oh my God.
So they wouldn't allow him to vote, and he says that's what happens when you lose a game. They lost to Louisville over the weekend. Now I can't vote.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? Talking about voting, and I know this is a sports page, Pat. I think you said it best. I think everybody can agree on one thing. At least the election's behind everybody. You know what I'm getting at? It's like it was so stressful leading up to it. So let's just all get along. That's it.
Well, there was an election made last night of the initial batch of college football playoff teams, Bulldog.
That's right. Oregon number 1, as they should be. Ohio State number 2 after their big victory over Penn State. Georgia at number 3. And yes, the Miami Hurricanes at number 4, undefeated. Even though they haven't really played anybody, they're still unbeaten atop the ACC. Texas is the 5th team, which the Gators play this weekend. Then you have Penn State, Tennessee, Indiana, BYU, surprisingly unbeaten. Notre Dame, Alabama, and Boise State round out the top 12, which if the season ended today, those would be your playoff teams. Of course, Alabama has 2 losses at number 11. They would be in the playoffs if they began today, whereas 1-loss teams from the ACC and the Big 12 would not. Certainly an indication that the SEC is still going to get some preferential treatment from the committee.
Well, there's a whole lot of stuff that can change over the next few weeks of the regular season. So
you know what needs to happen here. Colorado needs to win the Big 12. We need Coach Prime in the playoffs.
Just to spice it up?
Oh, God.
Just to spice it up. Come on. You love him or hate him, he would spice it up, would he not?
It's hard to argue against you on that.
We need the Illinois. Who's that guy? You know what I'm talking about. The one that said, just Google me.
Signetti.
Yeah, we need
Signetti.
Signetti.
Indiana.
Yeah, just Google me, baby.
Somebody who's not like Prime, but still has a hell of a record.
By the way, have you guys been following this local high school story? The First Academy, the Orlando private school affiliated with the First Baptist Church of Orlando, they got bounced out of the state football playoffs, fined $36,000 by the Florida High School Athletic Association. That was last week. Well, they had their appeal yesterday. The penalties were upheld. So the First Academy, TFA as it's called, goes from being a serious contender for the state championship to now having a 1-9 record because of all the forfeits. They've also been banned from the postseason next year. TFA, you ready for this?
Okay.
They had more than 30 transfer players this year. And again, 30 transfers. The center of the investigation, former UCF quarterback Stephen Moffitt, who was the head coach at Leesburg. He leaves as the head coach of Leesburg last year, takes an assistant job at TFA, and dozens of players follow him from Leesburg to TFA. So TFA gets nailed for recruiting. So they are now out of the state.
So that's not permissible under the Wild Wild West now?
Not even in high school. I don't think that you can just, recruit players like that.
There's still a rule out there, my God.
Right. Rules? What are those?
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath for too long as to see.
Yeah,
I think if you get some lawyers involved here and take it up the ranks a little bit, they might end up prevailing in the end, but it'll be too late.
Oh, yeah.
Right. By the way, Mike Gundy, coach of Oklahoma State, he got in some hot water. He went on, they're not having a good season. They were preseason ranked number 18. They're on a 6-game losing streak. They're winless in the Big 12. So he goes on, has a press conference the other day. And of course, a lot of Oklahoma State fans are complaining about him. Some of them want him fired, even though he's been really successful there for 18 years.
He needs to grow his mullet back is what he needs to do.
Did you see what he called these fans who were criticizing him and wanting him fired?
What?
He said, in most cases, the people that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills.
Oh,
They're not taking care of themselves or taking care of their own family, but they want me to be fired. So, yeah, he got in some hot water for that.
God.
So he sent out a social media post last night. If I offended anybody, I apologize. That's Mike Gundy.
Boy. The Lightning lose in St. Louis last night, 3-2. Magic back on the court tonight on the road trip, Bulldog.
Yeah, Indiana Pacers. They need to get back. They need to get back home because they're not doing very well on this road trip. They're 0-4. They played some good teams, and the Pacers are one of them. So I don't know if they can win tonight. They're losing by double digits now without Paolo Banchero, but hopefully they can get back on the winning track.
I smell a win.
I still just when you think they've got it all in a pile and ready to move forward, they just can't catch a break.
Hopefully he'll be back in time.
We can't have nice things in Orlando. We just can't.
Stop. Hopefully he'll be back in time, all healed up to make it to the playoffs.
All right. Mike the Bulldog Bianchi, host of Open Mic, weekday mornings on adjacent to us on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game. We're fortunate to have him take some time out of his show to join us each morning here on JRR for the Sports Page, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
Listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday morning on my station, FM 96.9 The Game, 7:30 a.m. It starts. You can catch extended versions on your favorite streaming platform. Oh!
Listen, Taco. On demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.